This is Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, day 1346. Today we're doing Gerdea Siman Reish Mem. That's good Rabbein, which we started yesterday. Sif Ches to Tezvav. Ches. Hakibu v'amorashein yonim. Respect and awe are two different things. Kibud in yonim ma'asim befall. Kibud is things which one does in actual deed. Kamo achilo ashkitz koso. To give him to eat and give him to drink. Chayetz b'zeh tzedek kamoshi as far as we shall see. V'amora or hiras hama'ala. It's a awe of a level. The mora hima malev. More oars in the heart. Anything which is, that's what Chazal say, anything which is a matter which is a matter of the heart. It says you should be fear your God, because Hashem no Hashem Adam Yaleinaim Hashem Yaleilov. With their mouths and with their lips they have given respect, and their heart is distant from me. But here, their awe of me is just the mitzvah a person does out by rote. Their year is nothing. They are covered. Anything which has a lack of respect over al ish avivi motiro. In other words, even if it's not a maisa, it's the absence of a maisa. That is over an ishim over itro. Because so vivorim. And certainly when he degrades him verbally. Tas ezu mora, what is mora? Lo yama v'komosh, not to stand in a place which is his designated place. Lamot sham, to stand. Sham besods kenim chavirov, where he sits in the secrets of the elders. In other words, in, I guess, certain activities of significant activities with his friends. A place which is unique for him to daven. Someone should not sit in a place which is unique to him to recline in his house or in his store. So it should be understood as automatically. To stand in the Sod's Kanim, this significant matters, in a place which is designated for him. So only relevant to a person of great stature. The father is of great stature. Evidently, Sod's Kanim is some form of Talmud Torah. Otherwise, I'm not sure what it would mean. So that's only Shayach by that's why it's only Shayach by Adam Gadol Milo. But we should maybe it could be talking about this. I guess it's so. That seems to be what means by so skating. So you shouldn't stand with your father, who's the Rosh Yeshiva. It's so logical to stand when he talks to people and learning. Yeshiva Beisov, in terms of sitting in one's house, well, that's a different story. I feel even a simple person. Let's say Rosh HaShulchan. Babais sits at a table. The son may not sit there both in front of his father and not in front of his father. Because the place can say, this is the place where his father usually sits. So that's when to sit there. But the standards for missile. Place where his father is designated to his father to stand. Also, he can't stand there either. It's obvious that this is also true with his mother. I guess back then, at least, women didn't have a set seat. Nowadays, I think they do. Also, they didn't speak about this. Therefore, he has a place to. If she has a place to sit, then he can't sit there. Women shouldn't stand as a nashim, place which is designated for her. The thing is that he writes, "Elikei no stands for reshus." unless she gives permission. Oh, well, so it's fun. Basically has to show. Okay, so he's also allowed to stand in his son's father's place if he gives permission. Evidently, it's not the same thing as Tzias Kenim. Obviously not. Basically, children sit in the place of their fathers in shul when the father is not present. At times, and the reason is, that's the reason why you can do it, is because that became a minhag. There's also a shus. Since minhag is if you gave permission. Nobody rejects this. Nobody talks against it. And the father is not bothered by this, so if it's permissible. So you're not allowed to sit next to your father without any gap in between. Brought evidence for this. We never heard such a thing. He didn't bring a Shulchan either. He didn't bring his raya either. Somebody Shmuel. It seems that his evidence is from Shmuel, says Arukh HaShulchan, in Parakhov, the from Arukh HaChodesh, the king sat. Oh no. I don't think it's Arukh HaChodesh. King sat in his place, welcome youngest son, maybe it is. Avner beside Shaul, and Avner sat next to Shaul. He was the gap, the intermediary between the two of them. Perish Rashi, I really should go up and check, but I'm too lazy to do that. I'm sorry. Tamid Yashav David it's a show. It's a David. Always David saying next to Shaul. Yonatan next to David. Avner it's a Yonatan. Avner by Yonatan. Tosh Nifka Makom David. Now that David left, Nishar Yonatan Samuch Laviv. Yonatan be next to his father. It's not appropriate. Okay, the Cleveland Combo so therefore they switch places. Shaul Avner it's a Shaul. Yonatan it's Avner. Avner sat interposed himself between Shaul and Yonatan. V'chol ha'achronim lo eviu din zeh shema min ha'shluch ha'shulchan. The achronim brought this halacha. They must be not concerned with it. Misham ein raya, and there it's different. It's not proof. To cover that melech shani. It's a cute raya, but it's as he says, it's covered melech is different. The ein lameidim is that we can't extrapolate from this. Gam ein hamina kain. Also, the custom is not like that. And in the parentheses here, he says, I don't see brackets coming up for a while. Could be that the edition I'm using now. Right now, I'm not using a Freeman edition tonight. Could be it doesn't have brackets. No, that's not true. I had plenty of brackets before. Interesting. Okay, we'll see. We'll get to our first brackets in this section, but so far I don't see any. And so there's in parentheses. Okay, and Tosefta is evidently a contradiction. Yura v'da diyesh kama she'av zakein ubeno lokeach also. There's several times, I guess there frequently that the father is old, ubeno lokeach also based on shulchano, and the son takes him to his own house to sit by his own table. Ben Yoshev Kamah Timidi, you call them, and the son sits in his normal place as previously. Baba Yoshev Tzido, and the father sits next to him. And the father's not concerned with this. There's also no halachic concern. Since the son is Baal Bais, his wife sits next to him. And then the minhag then was, as we often find, that the women sat next to her husband, not at the foot of the table. The father can't sit at the head next to his daughter-in-law. That would not be appropriate. So the son has to sit at his regular place. Next to his wife, and we mail the dog will come on that Ever the father, of course, is on the side. Nevertheless, the grandfather, it's
in this case, his brother has to wash. First, litain lo, to give him the first portion, and also the other honors at the table. Nasalav gave to the father, that's the custom of the shanos, and one should not deviate. Yudbei tiny b'kedushin below so says dvarav. He doesn't contradict his words, v'lo machrio, and he doesn't best him in a conversation. Perush Rashi. His father and another sage were arguing matter of halacha. This is the achra. To say that so and so is that the other fellow is correct. That's obvious. Doesn't have to be said. That's contradicting his words. Rather, even if he says he thinks his father's correct. You shouldn't say, I think my father's right. It looks like he is passing judgment on his father's words. Rather, if he has a response against or argue against his father, he should respond. You also can't say the other way, that the words of the other guy seem to be correct. So it seems also to contradict his father. From the Shach. The call say rack in front of him. This is only in front of him. If so in front of him, it's not in front of him. Right? But in Gemara, Shabbos Rishim Chelak Aviv. The Gemara on Shabbos Tamim Dal, Relez Rishim, and argues as the father Rishim Reichai. But Rav Ashi Amar Ha the Abed Kadnusi, and my Rav Ashi said about saying his father. Ashi said, and getting Daf Melchav Test, he said when he was young, and he didn't change his mind. Rama Chelak Aviv, and Rama argues with his father. Pregram Mishchita Din Yod Ayin Sham. Vatur Chelak Rosh argues on Rosh. Erev Shalom Masha in Lachlok B'Dinim Al Aviv. How can you say you can't argue in halacha on your father? Hello, Torah Hashem. It's the Torah of Hashem. The Torah Sames, and it's the Torah of truth. And we don't flatter people in the course of learning. Even face to face, the son can talk and learn with his father. Ask questions, and answer. And to properly determine halacha. And many times the son asks his father to it slow, and the father answers him. And this is the way Torah works. They'll say that to contradict his words, even if he's not present in front of you, it's also that's a shach. It's mihani, I'm astounded. That Rav Ashi contradicted his father's words. Shalom b'fanav. Ella. Before of us, Lomar Ubulashon Satira, in front of me now, let's say a contradiction. Sheinum Biderech HaKavod El Yisav Yitenimo. It's not the proper way to display honor, but rather you should discuss matters with him. Ad until one can see the other. But Gami Maben Ishar B'Dato Shein okay, and even the son remains with his opinion that that's not the case. Yachsi said, hold it in his heart. Shouldn't say explicitly, I don't think you're right. Okay, that was in Torah. What about mundane matters? Can you contradict your father and make determinations? Like Avka, but Torah having had their covered, perhaps only Torah it's a lack of respect. Not in general matters. However, they say the opposite. They came that feel with Torah, so even the Torah can't contradict them. Koshke, Milam is certainly in mundane manners. That seems to be the case. It's a kavachomer. But there were Pashtu, it's clear. The father says to son, I want to hear your opinion. What it is. I want to hear your opinion, what it is. What is your opinion? So the son has to see say what as matters to him. Whether it's in Torah, whether it's in mundane matters, I think we should die to even if his opinion is the opposite of his father's opinion. Yudav, of course, I was in Shulchan Aruch. It's a famous story from they say, and it's true that Reuven Feinstein used to smoke on Yontif, and they asked him once, your father says it's us smoking Yontif. So he goes, Moshe. So Reuven went to Moshe and asked him, how come you never told me that I shouldn't smoke on Yontif? So Moshe said to Reuven, said, I thought you went to the sukkah and you passed it differently. Okay, but in any event, I'm not sure it's directly related, but it's a cute story. Kasar was saying about Shulchan Aruch, but see, basically, you can't call your father by his name. Lo b'chayev, lo muslim, not when he's alive, not when he's dead. And lo Abba Mori. He says, my father, my master. Shem Avik, Shem Acherim. If his father's name is like other people's names, V'shana Shmam, Imushem Shupeli, Shein HaKor B'gilin Kozbo. If it's a name which is rare, which most people are not called by, let's say Clonimus, I guess, or something like that. So then you should change the name when you refer to others. Avol Shem Shagilin Bo, like David, Mutzali Kros Hacherim, and call other people Shalofanav, not in front of your father, Akal Shono. V'yesh Chokim, those are the Shalofanav, Mutali Kros Hachim, Afilu Shem Peli. You can call people by a rare name if the father is not around. If it's a name which is common, you can even do it in front of him. That's a Drisha and the Shach. But those who say like literally that's Shulchan Aruch. That's the Tas. In any event, to call father by his name is Asr, actually in front of, even if it's not in front of him. He always writes, my man, my father, Master Rosh, nation so they're covered. Mamar Rosh L'Kol Yisrael. Okay, I guess he used the Rosh Tevos literally because even though it implies his father's name, Rabbeinu Asher, because it's Rosh L'Chol Yisrael. The Rosh Loya Shmo Cain, his name was not Rosh, Shmo Rabbeinu Asher. Okay, well, I thought that was obvious. But the Rosh Eino Shmo Atzmi, so Rosh is not his actual name, Elakinu Shel Kavod, just a honorific. I'm astounded. I'm seeing the kitten to Shabby do story. Barabiani Amar Ilu Hargus to story. Mina Saliana Abba Bar Kamoisi. In case Rabbi Story was traveling with somebody else who got beaten up. When he came back, he said, I was very good beaten up because how would that, if they had killed me, who would have given you, my father, a son like me? And so he's called his father by his name. Rabbi Shimon Amar, I would say Yochai my father. Rabbi Yisrael, I feel Abba Chalafta Beinayim. Evidently, Abba Chalafta was his father. Yaakov Amar, V'Shem Avosai Avram Yitzchak, Shlomar David Avi. V'Adzel Abba Mori, Abba Stam. They didn't say Abba Mori. They said Abba just by itself. Gamba Gemara, Yisa Amar Lo Abba Mika Kosub. He says he's supposed to say to your father. Gemara Kiddushin Naf. Well, Sanhedrin says here. So there's not a base. If you have to correct your father, you say Abba Mikakasa. Don't say Abba Mori. Ayin Sham. Uvemes Bagmara, Lamraf and base, Lorim Tsush, Circle Abba Mori, and some of the Halach Mishmo Rabbi. You don't say Abba Mori when you say Halacha in his name in public. Ayin Sham. The Shanemar Shagam coming out the Ram and Turk Shnark, Kain Ulonira came with Simas Ivrahim. Let's see, that's what the Ram and Turk Shulchan meant. Aval. We have to say this. It's possible that really you're not supposed to call his name without the word Abba. Abba Pliny, then you mention father's name, it's mutter. So it's because Elomer Abba Mori, who b'dvar halacha. Or would you say Abba with the name, that's okay. If it's dvar halacha, say Abba Mori. When you say his name, you say Shalom Mori. You don't have to say Mori. Tzachlamar Abba Pliny. Say Abba so and so. Mashiach Mori l'miyadama. Mori has nothing to do with miyadama. Chenir Ikar. That seems to be the proper explanation of what's going on here. Okay, that's it for tonight, I believe. Yes.